After the first week of Summer Duels Ranked, something had awoken in me. I had been reminded of a feeling I had forgotten about for years. The feeling of being in the final championship game of a baseball league, or the feeling of standing in front of hundreds of people and winning a spelling bee championship. It was a feeling of stress, pressure, and exhilaration, one I hadn't felt in a very long time. And it was in that moment that I set a goal for myself, to reach rank 1 in SDR. And on the 1-year anniversary of my channel, I was able to reach that goal. 25 grueling matches where every single choice could lead to victory or soul-crushing defeat. Playing on a map I considered to be the worst map in SDR history and with a team with no dancer, which made every decision all the more stressful. Let's jump into the first match and I will break down my team and the 2 units I believe to be the strongest units available on this particular map. Okay, let's start with the basic overview of my team and the important capture points of this map. So as you can see on this map, there is a mountain here and a trench, which means cavalry units aren't getting by. So one of the most important things to do is to control this area around the center of the map and your trench, and also threaten the enemy's trench. So the way my team does this is with the help of Katria giving the power and Duo Dagger giving that mobility. Duo Ike is going to act as the frontline unit and try to protect the rest of the team while we set up. So here we go, here's the basic setup. Going to repo Ike in, then get Bridal Katria to get Ike in even deeper. And as you can see, the enemy is also trying to contest this, and they're doing a very good job because they have a legendary Byleth here, and he has no Sublime Heaven up, which is very important because as you are using a far save unit, essentially what you want to do is proc this Sacred Cow on a basic hit, and then get Sublime Heaven to hit for full damage on the second hit. So it's very well used, and as you can see, their Byleth is quite invested even with Canto control. And so what I need to do here is to make sure that Hector does not die, and the best way to do that is to proc Duo Ike's skill, as this not only debuffs his attack and speed, but most importantly puts guard on him. As you can see, he immediately pulls back, which allows me to finish setting up and also get Hector into position without him being threatened. Now the major problem with this is that because Byleth hadn't acted yet, he no longer has guard on this turn, and he also has it at 1 cooldown, so he's going to blow up Hector. So what I need to do with my team is to set up in such a way that I can get Duo Dagger in and destroy their far save unit, while also making sure that my line of movement isn't disturbed. And so what you're going to see me do here is I'm going to proc the Duo skill first, make sure everyone has the Pathfinder and the buffs. And secondly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Bridal Katria down. So Bridal Katria is now enabling this Congo line. The important thing is Hector still dies here, right? If Byleth moves up and smacks, Hector's most likely dead here. And so by using Bridal Katria here, I don't lose my movement even if my far save unit dies. And so what I can do then is I can bring in Duo Dagger, destroy their far save unit. Now obviously I'm going to trade here, it's not that big of a deal. There she goes. But what this lets me do now is bring in the next unit, trade again, remove the threat to Hector. There goes Crom, not a big deal again. Have Ike go in, and this is very important because Nana ended her turn last turn and I did the duo skill. She has guard inflicted on her and all these debuffs. So by doing the math really quick, I was able to see that Ike would not lose to Nana in this matchup, even though his speed defense bond isn't active. So what that lets me do is move in aggressively, and then I can position, and that is pretty much GG right there. Okay, now that we have a basic understanding of my teamwork, so let's talk about some of the most powerful units on this map. First of all being Valentia Palla. This unit is absolutely absurd, and this is mostly due to the fact that she's a flying unit with a ton of power and Canto to escape. So what essentially Palla can do is she doesn't really have to take into consideration the mountain here or the trench, which is very big. And so she can do some very aggressive openings. When it comes to her build, as you can see, I think this is the best build pretty much. Obviously, you could do something like Deathblade 4 here, which would be a little bit better, but the basic idea of having hit and run, and then the Canto in her weapon, allows her to aggressively attack and then also get out. So let's go ahead and check out this opening, and it will show just how powerful Palla can truly be. So here I am doing my basic opening, but then here comes Palla, and look how far she got with just a single action. She's already controlling the center of the map. While she isn't moved yet, she can get danced very easy by Azura, which extends her range. And all of a sudden, my entire side of the map is controlled, and it's very, very dangerous. This type of Palla can do insane damage because of the adaptive damage in her Brave weapon. So what I have to do here is immediately pull Ike out to protect him. And pretty much I have to concede the whole center of the map. Something you really do not want to do ever.
Be careful.
And what they do is very intelligently, they move up their Bridal Catria with Eminence, which then extends her range even further. So essentially there's only one safe spot in my entire capture block on the side of my map. Now luckily I've had experience with this type of matchup before, and so I knew if I set up correctly, I could pop do Ike's skill, nerfing her attack, and Ike just barely lives. And so what you see here is they don't decide to go in, and they do get the capture points though. They have complete control of this map, and now this is quite dangerous, right? The thing about Palla though is that she doesn't always have 3 movement. That 3 movement is enabled by the Dancer, and because of that, Palla's attack range is actually quite limited right now, and so what I have to do is quickly make use of this before she gets danced, because once she does, she's very dangerous again. So what you're going to see me do is I'm going to set up my duo skill. Then I'm going to move Hector in, because now Hector's still safe. He's outside of Palla's range. They're going to move back. I can now move forward again because they just gave up their Eminence. And this was probably their biggest mistake, because now I can set up a Congo line and get in deep. And once again, they're a bit scared of what I'm going to do. And because they're not playing aggressively, I get the chance to just go in and snipe the main unit on their team. Even though Chrom dies, it's really not a big deal, as I've taken out their biggest threat. And now I can go in and just dismantle the entire team. There's the dance, but that's not going to really matter because here comes Duo Ike to just completely destroy Chrom. And that is going to be GG. But as you can see, Palla is an extremely powerful unit who can dominate the map extremely quickly and can pretty much threaten everything on the map, which is very scary. Now let's talk about the other most threatening unit on this map, Harmonic Sonya. This unit is absolutely absurd and can control a majority of the map just like Palla does, but to be honest, in an even safer way. So let's go ahead and check out their opening. I'm doing my normal opening, and then here comes the extension. And all of a sudden, Sonya is controlling so much of the map already. Now the thing is, I have a lot of experience fighting the Sonya. She's pretty much everywhere. And because they are not running Duo Chrom here, her special is not charged. And you'll also notice it's Growing Wind and not Blazing Wind. So when I immediately notice that, I know I can put Ike here and Ike will not die. And if they decide to attack, Ike will just get a free kill. So what I do essentially is set up Ike here, and then I'm going to set up everything else, taking advantage of the fact that the Sonya is not running the proper build. Waiting till the very last second to get Hector in there. And then I duo skill here. Now the reason why I duo skill here is because it's going to delay the enemy team a turn. As you can see, they have Secret and Maneuver, which gives that special cooldown -1, which puts her at 2. So by duo skilling with Ike, I reset her special and I force her to use her duo skill in order for her to be threatening again, which means that I will get a turn to set up before they can do anything. As you see, that's exactly what they do.
That's the spirit.
Which then allows me to use my own duo skill. And then what I do is, I know that they have Growing Wind, and because of my Captain Skill Mass Confusion, her attack is debuffed, which means that I know she will not kill Hector, especially with Growing Wind instead of Blazing Wind. So what I can do is safely move down here. I did the math against Alm to make sure Alm does not kill Hector, because that does happen sometimes. And this allows me to set up my very aggressive Congo line, and most importantly, triangle attack. So here she comes. She cannot kill Hector. Puts a nice little chunk into him and into Ike. But now I can remove Tiki. And even if the Duo Dagger dies, it's not that big of a deal because she has done her job. Nice little, I think this is like really cool tech right here. Running Savage Blow, just putting the extra chip damage on. But then here comes Ike. Ike takes out Sonya. Chrom's gonna fight Hector, can't do anything at all. And then that's pretty much gonna be GG. So while this may have not been the best example of how powerful Sonya can be, it does show you just how much range she has, and with the proper build, she can really destroy your entire team. So that's a matchup you always have to be ready for and to think about ahead of time and try to see any type of weakness in that unit that you can take advantage of to position aggressively. Just to show off how deadly these two units really can be, let's show off a map where there's both of them on the same team. Now as you can see, we have Sonya here with the correct special, though she is using attack speed unity and quick impulse instead of double L&D, which I can take advantage of. Then we have Hector, Palla running the correct build as well, and then Azura who gives that extra movement. So let's go and watch their opening. What they're going to do here is just get the dance off and then get a nice smite in. And what the smite does is puts Palla right into range where she's horrifying again. So I have to pull Ike out. Then I set up pretty much normally here, bringing in Crom. But once again, remember what I said. Palla loses her movement. She does not have that movement naturally. That is movement from Azura, which means she does not have it yet. Which means that I can aggressively move in Hector, so I can set up offensive pressure to take out the enemy team. There is Sonya, but I'm going to duo skill. And the reason why I can get away with this very safely is because I know Sonya is not running double L&D, and so she is not going to kill Hector, especially when you give him the extra 6 resistance from the duo skill. So what I'm going to do now is just set up very safely here. The second they move Sonya, I know I am free to move in. And there we go. Nice little quads in to take out Hector. Now this came down to me having to do a lot of math very quickly with a little bit of time to see that I could survive Palla. Thankfully these buffs were just enough for him to live, which allows me to aggressively position against their enemy team and take out their unit. Now obviously Palla's going to get a free kill, but Canto Controls can keep her from getting too far away, which lets Crom come in and finish her off. Now the only really threatening unit left is Sonya, but I'm in such a demanding position that I can take advantage of this to win. Unfortunately, they also have to use Lyn, which is a bonus unit, and she's not doing much if she's not max invested. Take the free hit there. Pull forward, keep moving up. There's the dance, which is going to allow me to get a free kill on Azura. Probably not the best place to put her, but either way it works. Then they have to do a skill again. And I'm essentially going to just like end turn here so I can make sure she dies on the next turn, even though she is going to get a free kill on Hector, but not a big deal, as I can just hit her in the face and she's dead. But even then, you can see just how powerful this team really was and how powerful Harmonic Sonya and Valentia Palla can be. Now, it wouldn't be fair to show me only winning, so let's show off one of my losses where I'm fighting a rank 1 player who is kind of just going around destroying people, taking away their wins, which probably isn't the nicest thing to do. Let's go ahead and check out their team. So they have Legendary Sigurd, plus 10 of course, very optimal build with Pulse Smoke, plus 10 Ascended to Dune, and as you notice, this is a very, very meta build. What this does is it gives her Guard, which is going to prevent Yuris and other units who want to get off that special on the second hit, which also prevents the triangle attacks from doing full damage, and then Dragon Wall to give that extra damage reduction that isn't going to be pierced because they're not going to be able to get off their Deadeyes or Lethalities on the second hit. They're also going to be using Secret Maneuver to give Sacred Cow, so they don't need to worry about the special acceleration. Very, very smart build. Then you have your pretty typical plus 10 Dagger build, plus 10 Duo Ike with the optimal build. This is built to take care of Valentia Palla, reducing that damage by 80%, and then Speed Defense Ideal is here to take care of Legendary Nana, because Ike needs that extra defense to ensure he doesn't die to Legendary Nana. And then Legendary Nana, of course, because she's horrifying. So let's go ahead and check out their opening. I am doing my typical opening, going in, just setting up like normal, and as you can see, they are setting up for turn 2 attack as well. And then I go in, and this is where I possibly make the first mistake. I use Duo Ike's skill here.
Be careful.
I wanted to get Guard onto Dagger, but the thing is, it doesn't really do the most because Secret Maneuver is going to give the special to Sigurd, which is very important, and the special to Dune, which is going to make it so that I can't really kill her. So probably not the best choice, to be honest. But what I'm going to do is do my typical open the Duo skill to get that extra movement and start setting up that Congo line. They're going to pop their duo skill, which is going to take away Hector's special, which is a big deal, as you'll see. I'm going to move Hector in because I know they can't kill quite here. If they move Dagger up to kill Hector, then I can kind of trade. It's not the biggest deal. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm just going to go ham, and I'm going to kill their Ike. I see the chance to do it, so I'm going to take it. But then Hector's going to die. So now Ike is kind of alone, which isn't the best place to be, but they really can't kill him, which is the good part. I'm making sure to keep his null follow-up active so that Sigurd couldn't kill there. It's very important to do that. The problem is where I go from here. So I pull Ike back, but by doing that, I kind of make everything vulnerable to being killed. So they pop the duo skill to get the extra movement. I'm going to just pull Crom back. The problem now is they can just run right through me with this Pathfinder. Very, very cool move. They use swap to get a Dune onto this spot and then use the rest of the movement for Sigurd to get through. And they are just controlling the map now. I can't really do much. I probably should have just went all in and see if I could have won a trading war, but even then I probably would have lost. So honestly, not much I can do here, and this is one of my 2 losses. The other loss was just me actually just making a stupid misplay because I wasn't paying attention. So this was definitely the biggest loss for me, and it was quite frustrating to be honest. Okay, this next match is really interesting. They are using a Winter Lysithea with an AoE build, which is really cool in my opinion, and can actually be quite powerful, as you'll see in a second. Other than that, they're running pretty much a meta comp, which isn't too surprising. So let's see what they do. And the reason really I want to show off this match is to show you how to trade very aggressively so that you can come out on top. Because that is something you're really going to need to understand if you want to do well in SDR. So they're moving in, and this is a very cool opening. The thing is that Winter Lysithea doesn't have her special up, so I know she can't really do much damage here, and she absolutely can't kill Hector, so I'm not really worried about it. They're going to get into position. And here's the thing, what they're doing is they're being very smart. They're keeping Winter Lysithea outside of Duo Ike's duo skill range so that I can't hit her and make sure she doesn't get her blazing special. But at the same time, I'm going to proc it anyway because I don't want Duo Dagger to have, I want her to have guard so that she can't really get off her specials and so that it's much more difficult to kill my Hector. So what I'm going to do is pop, they're going to pop their duo skill first, increasing that movement, making it so that Lysithea can really threaten my team. I am going to do the same. I know she can't kill Hector, so I'm not too worried about it, but she is going to cripple my team quite a bit. As you can see, she does not kill Hector, but she does a ton of damage to Ike and completely annihilates Karam. What that's going to let me do is move up Bridal Catcher. And the reason why I attack with Bridal Catcher here is because I want her to move into position with her Trace skill. And so what this does is not only gets the kill, but enables me to have a Congo line so I can get deeper into the enemy team. Now I know Hector's dead here, he's too hurt to take on Duo Dagger anymore, but it doesn't matter because my Congo line is still intact, which means that I can start making some very aggressive trades. So there goes their Hector. And they're going to come in, they get a free kill on my Bridal Catcher, but my Congo line is still established because of the way I moved Dagger. Dagger attacking from here keeps this small Congo light going, and what that means is that I can bring in my Duocrom to take away their last action. So this is something you need to do with trading when you think about it. In this situation, Duocrom was still probably the highest priority target I needed to kill, but the fact that he has action made him so that I wanted to kill him immediately, so they no longer had anything they could do, and then I can move Ike in to seal the deal and win the match. So when it comes to things like this, you really need to understand how trading works. Not only the priority of what you need to kill, but also making sure you can rob actions from the enemy team so that you have a giant advantage in what you can do. Okay, here we are. This is the final match I played, and to set this up, this is essentially my last chance to get rank 1. I technically have 2 losses left, but the other loss is using a bonus unit. So that means I would have to completely switch my team around to a legendary Nana team, which I did practice, but I just didn't feel too comfortable with. So essentially, if I lose this match here, I'm not going to get rank 1. And if I win this match, I hit rank 1. So this is like the most stressful and like crazy situation possible. And I run into this very good player with a very solid team. So let's check out their team. So they have a +3 Hatari Azura, a +10 Duocrom with Canto Control and Hardy Bearing. We have a +10 Hector with the meta build, We have a plus when Duo Ike and a plus for Yuri. The thing about this Yuri that's very important is that because of Duochrome, he can get his lethality to 1 cooldown, which means he will kill Hector. So that is something I have to play around. So let's go ahead and watch their setup. I will do my typical opening here, having to be very careful of Yuri, because once again, Yuri will kill pretty much anything he touches. They're dancing here, I move in. And what I'm really trying to do is I really want to hit the duo skill on Yuri. That's what I want, right? If I can do that, I can pretty much shut him down, especially if he's already moved. He'll have the guard on the next turn. And the player knows this, so they're not moving Yuri in at all. So I kind of have to proc it here because I don't think I'm going to get a chance to use it later. Essentially, I understand how this matchup is going to work, and it's going to be a bloodbath. So I need to get the duo skill in now to get any advantage I can, because I'll be using Duo Dagger's duo skill next turn, which means I won't even have the chance to use Duo Ikes. So they're just going to chill back here. I'm going to move Hector in. They're going to concede the points, which isn't that big of a deal. That's actually the smart move to do here. And what they're going to do is they are just going to go in and they are going to threaten my team. This is their biggest mistake in my opinion. And the reason for that is because Yuri no longer kills Hector. And I am immediately aware of that the second they do it. By charging his lethality is going into the Sacred Cow where the damage will be reduced. And then the second hit won't do all that much damage. Hector will live. And because I know that, I can now aggressively position against their team. So first thing I'm going to do is obviously pop the duo skill so I can set that up. I know I am safe from Yuri, so I'm not too worried about it. They now recognize this and they pull Yuri back, all the way back, making sure that Yuri dies because they know that Yuri is probably their win condition here. What I'm going to do is just move Hector up. I know Hector cannot beat or cannot lose to Duo Ike. And what they're going to do is just pop Duo Ike's skill, which does make it a bit more difficult to kill some things. But luckily, because of attack speed unity, Ike's speed and attack are not being nerfed by any means, which is very important for this matchup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out their far save unit. I have Triangle Deck set up, and because Hector is protecting Ike, I can for sure get this kill. And even if Duo Dagger dies, it's not that big of a deal because she has done her job. Then we have the dance on Duo Ike, and that debuff gives me enough power to just smash right through their Duo Ike. So at this point, it's looking pretty good for me, but you should never underestimate your opponent. So here it comes, and this is what I was talking about. There goes Hector. So now I'm out of far save units, and they still have Crom available. So now this is a very weird play, and you're probably wondering, why did you just throw your Bridal Catcher right into the enemy's face? And the reason for that is very simple. I knew that someone was going to die. There's no way Crom isn't killing somebody with Deadeye up. And so what I need to do is have as many units aggressively positioned against their enemy team as possible. So that way, whoever they kill, I still have more units to trade with them on the following turn. And so even though this is kind of hurts to have to give up Bridal Catria, I don't really mind if she dies. The unit I really want to keep alive is Ike. So by having her here, I not only activate all of his weapon conditions, but I also make sure that there's enough units to attack into them. So they're going to go ahead and kill Bridal Catria, taking away that triangle attack for the next turn. And then I'm going to end turn, and I'm going to go in. Because I get the first action, I'm going to remove Yuri immediately. I still think this is the best option. Killing Azura is definitely an option to remove the dance, because that does delay and give them more actions in a sense. But I know that Yuri is super threatening, so I just have to remove him. And this is where things get really scary. Because at this point, Crom can kill some things, right? So I have to decide what I'm going to do on my next action. Am I going to try to save Ike here with Duo Crom, or am I going to try to save Duo Dagger? And this is actually a very big deal because Crom can kill other Crom. It's pretty much whoever gets the first attack in, though I do have Deadeye set up. So there is a chance that Crom can win that matchup, but I'm not 100% sure. And at this point, I've been thinking so much that there's not much time on the clock for me to really do all the math. So what do they do here? They just move over. So what they realize is they can't kill Ike, and if they kill Duo Dagger, what I can really easily do is just use Crom to reposition Ike and then kill their Crom. So they're kind of nervous about that. So what they're going to do is they're going to charge up the Deadeye, make sure that they can get the Deadeye off when they need to, and also move their Dancer to safety. So at this position, I'm again thinking, do I save Duo Ike or do a Dagger? And the play you have to consider, right, is if Ike dies here, because he no longer has NFU, there's not enough allies in position, how can I make sure that this Crom dies? And the way to do that is to pull Dagger back. And the reason why this is important is because by pulling Duo Dagger back, I get Deadeye first of all. Second of all, she charges her special. But most importantly, I can use Duo Dagger's Pathfinder to be right here. And what that will do is it'll give me enough movement with Chrom to reach their Chrom if they decide to kill my Ike. So they realize that, and they decide to delay using Duo Chrom's Duo skill. And so what I do is move Dagger into position, and now if they kill Ike, I kill their Chrom with my Chrom, and that's pretty much GG. So what they have to do actually is just move away, and then I delay with my Duo skill. So I can't lose this action. I need this action up. And then they're going to dance. So I move my Chrom into position. And so what I do by doing this is that I make it so that they have to move to the left. If I had Chrom over here on the right, they can move to the right, and then I wouldn't be able to kill with Ike. So I have to make Chrom over here, so no matter who he kills, I'm in a position to kill his Chrom. And then I take out his Chrom. Very close matchup. And then Azura actually kills Chrom, which I thought might happen, so I wasn't too worried about it, but then Duo Dagger is there. And that is the final match. That is what allows me to get into rank 1. Oh, it was a nail biter. I was literally like freaking out. There was so much math to do and so many quick decisions to make. And it really came down to every little action. So I'm very glad that this was my final match. It was very much a great way to end my SDR run. And that was my Summoner Duels ranked run. Honestly, it was one of the most intense, exhilarating, stressful situations I've ever been in. I enjoyed it a ton. I don't know if there's something wrong with me maybe, but either way, I think this game mode does have a lot of potential. I know it is one of the most hated game modes ever, but if you are interested in playing Summoner Duels, even normal or ranked or SDS, whatever it is, you should head over to the FEH Discord. Honestly, that is one of the biggest resources out there right now who can help you with your teams, help you with matchups and openings. That Discord has helped me a ton, and it honestly helped me do a lot of research. I probably spent, I don't know, somewhere around 10 hours doing research, and most of that was through FEH's Discord's resources, such as replays or just watching people play the game. All those things can help a ton. So if you are interested in SD, make sure to head over there and ask for some help. There are a ton of people there who would love to help you out. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and keeps the content coming out. This has been Oblivion, and I'll catch you all later with more Fire Emblem Heroes.